Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I disagreed.
There's a reason why people don't trust lawyers, there's a reason why people don't trust politicians,
and there is a reason why people don't trust CNN.
Viva Frei, Montreal litigator turned YouTuber. I do these things called vlogs, and for anybody who doesn't really get the pun, that is a law-based vlog, hence vlog. When I first saw this in the news, I knew I had to do a vlog on it because it's got a bit of everything to it. It's got a bit of law, it's got a bit of body language reading, it's got a bit of ethics and battle, and it's got a bit of basic common sense. For those of you who don't know, CNN just held the 7th Democratic presidential debate. It was hosted by Wolf Blitzer and Abby Phillip. Now, full disclosure, so you can assess the rest of this video accordingly, I did not watch the Democratic debate in its entirety. I am still debated out from the 2016 presidential elections. But I watch the highlights, I read reviews, so that at the very least I can still know what's going on. And when I read about this particular exchange between Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and when I went to watch the various video clips, it is an absolute work of vlog art. Vlart?
No, that sounds a little gross.
It is a work of art. So where do we start? Well, let's just start by first watching the clip. And for those of you who have been watching my MXR vlogs on copyright and fair use, bear this in mind. I am using an insignificant portion of the overall Democratic debate. I am using the bare minimum to make the point for commentary that I want to make. With that said, let's move on and see the clip in question.
Let's now turn to an issue that's come up in the last 48 hours. Senator Sanders.
CNN reported yesterday.
I'm sorry, I actually hate to interrupt, but I might have to. CNN reported yesterday, and now CNN is hosting the Democratic presidential debate today. Can we stop for a second and appreciate that that smells a little fishy? On the eve of the Democratic presidential debates that CNN is itself hosting, CNN is breaking news to the effect that Bernie Sanders did something. One does not have to have the most creative imagination or the highest of ethical standards in order to know that that looks a little suspect.
Let me tell you something. You're suspect. Yeah, you.
Let's now turn to an issue that's come up in the last 48 hours. Senator Sanders. CNN reported yesterday, Senator Warren confirmed in a statement that in 2018, you told her that you did not believe that a woman could win the election. Why did you say that?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because this is what Donald Trump and maybe some of the media want. Anybody knows me, knows that it's incomprehensible that I would think that a woman could not be president of the United States. Go to YouTube today. There's a video of me 30 years ago talking about how a woman could become president of the United States. In 2015, I deferred, in fact, to Senator Warren. There was a movement to draft Senator Warren to run for president. Senator Warren decided not to run, and I did run afterwards. Hillary Clinton won.
I'm sorry, before we get into this legitimate point, what on earth is Elizabeth Warren doing? How many notes is she taking down based on what Bernie Sanders is saying? Okay, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president of the United States?
So Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here.
I'm sorry, was something not clear in the response that Bernie Sanders just gave? Bernie Sanders just gave a clear, unequivocal, and totally justified answer to the question. There was no lack of clarity or ambiguity, so I don't know what needs to be clarified here, but let's just see where this is going, even though I know exactly where it's going.
You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I disagreed. Bernie is my friend.
All right, well, with friends like that, but let's get into the questions of law. Actually, you know what? There are going to be no questions of law, but there's going to be strategy of law. Being the moderator of an adversarial debate is sort of like playing the role of a cross-examining attorney in a deposition. Now, although there are obvious differences between the role of the moderator of a debate and a cross-examining attorney, I'm going to treat them the same for the purposes of these observations. In previous vlogs where I've broken down or analyzed depositions, I've explained at length why, in theory, an attorney is not supposed to ask questions to which they do not know the answer. An exception to that general rule is that an attorney can ask a question to which they do not know the answer if either answer the witness is going to be required to give is going to be equally damning. So I'm not going to repeat what I said on that subject already. What I am going to say for the purposes of this vlog, an attorney should not ask a question if they know what answer the witness is going to give and that answer is not going to help their case. And that's exactly what Abby Phillip did just now. Now you'll notice she asked her question as a leading question.
In 2018, you told her that you did not believe that a woman could win the election.
Why did you say that?
Why did you say that? Not did you say that, why did you say that? The question presupposes the fact that Bernie Sanders did in fact say that. But Bernie Sanders is not stupid. He's not up on that platform to sink his entire campaign, and even if he had said it, which I highly doubt he did, common sense dictates that he would nonetheless deny it on the podium. He would deny it notwithstanding the fact that the question was asked as a leading question that presupposed the fact. He would answer it the exact way he does.
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it.
Bernie Sanders flat out categorically denies saying it. He denies the essential fact on which that question was predicated. He then goes on at length to give a totally well-justified answer, one that is justified not just in fact but in pure logic as to why he would never have said such a thing. He explains the fundamental, call it absurdity or untenability of the question in that even in the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Nobody in their right mind with basic common sense in 2018 would say that a woman could never become president. And he answers the question clearly and unequivocally, but it is not the answer that Abby Phillip wanted or was expecting. Oh, you know, I don't know what answer she was expecting, but it's not the answer she wanted.
So Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here.
I do want to be clear here. First of all, it was his answer and there was nothing ambiguous about it. His answer was as clear as purified, deionized, reverse osmosis water. The cross-examining attorney just asked a question, got a clear answer, short circuit because it wasn't the answer that they wanted, and they go on to ask a question which presupposes the fact that was just denied by their previous question. This also goes back to things I've said in previous vlogs where I've analyzed depositions. The biggest mistake that the examining attorney can do, and it's something that young lawyers do quite often, is they don't actually listen to the answers to the question. They have their list of questions, their anticipated answers to those questions, they ask the questions, get the answers, and they just move on to the next question. And here I've got to tell you, I don't know if Abby Phillip heard the answer, if she processed the answer, or if she just totally ignored the answer. But she moves on to ask Elizabeth Warren this question.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
And we have to fully appreciate that we have members of the audience at a CNN-moderated Democratic presidential debate laughing out loud at the absurdity of the follow-up question. What did you think when Senator Sanders told you that a woman could not win the election? It's another leading question. It's another question that presupposes the very fact at issue. It's a question that presupposes the very fact that was just denied in great detail by the previous question. This is conduct that would simply be laughable if it came from an attorney, and the fact that it's coming from a CNN moderator in the context of a debate doesn't make it any less laughable. I mean, the framing of the question is so absurd, it's almost as though Elizabeth Warren wrote the question for herself and gave it to the moderator to ask her in the debate. But that could never happen. Well, God, I suck at winking. Now let's skip to the end of the debate because the fallout of this is even more amazing. At the end of the debate, Elizabeth Warren refuses to shake Bernie Sanders' hand. Now, at first, the only video footage we had of this did not actually capture the audio of what was said between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Tom Steyer is the guy in the middle, and apparently he heard everything. But in post-debate interviews, when asked what was said between the two, Steyer was actually kind of gentlemanly and said, look, I'm not saying what they said, I just wanted to say hi to Bernie.
I want to show this video that occurred at the end of the debate. You sort of ended up in the middle of this. What was that like? What occurred there?
Look, I was just going up to say good night, Senator Sanders. And I felt like, okay, there's something going on here. Good night, I'm out of here.
But lo and behold, soon thereafter, a video with the audio intact was released, and it is glorious.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
What?
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Let's not do it right now. You want to have that discussion, we'll have that
Anytime.
discussion. You called me. You told me. All right, let's not do it now.
I don't want to get in the middle of it. I just want to say hi, Bernie.
Yeah, good. Okay.
I think you just called me a liar on national TV. First of all, can we fully appreciate how inappropriate a forum it is to have this fight? If it is a genuine response, it is absolutely not the proper forum to have this argument. But my assessment based on Elizabeth Warren's body language is that this is not a genuine response. This response to a large degree looks to be calculated, premeditated, and you can tell in the way that Elizabeth Warren approaches Bernie Sanders. Just look at the way her hands are clutched together, her shoulders are sort of slouched and bent over like she's being crushed by the embarrassment of what she doesn't really feel comfortable doing. My personal belief, and it might not be as insightful as I think it is that this was a staged response and Elizabeth Warren did it knowing full well the cameras and the mics would pick it up. And let's look at the substance of Elizabeth Warren's outrage.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
I think you called me a liar on national TV. I think you just called Bernie Sanders a sexist misogynist on national TV. This is a pure political ambush. Either Bernie Sanders is forced to admit something that he denies in fact, or he's going to be faulted for calling Elizabeth Warren a liar on national television for having said that he said something he denies. Elizabeth Warren, in no uncertain terms, just called Bernie Sanders a sexist and a misogynist on national TV during the presidential debates and faults him for calling her a liar for denying that he said what he says he didn't say. And whether or not Elizabeth Warren's response was genuine or staged, one has to seriously question the judgment of anybody who would make such a scene under such circumstances. This is on national TV. It is neither the time nor the place to have this fight. Elizabeth Warren's conduct here is no different than that family member who always makes a scene at Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Regardless of how enraged you are, it is not the time or the place to have this fight. And refusing to shake someone's hand after a debate, I mean, they would have had to have done something pretty bad in order to warrant that type of snub. It is no less shameful than an Olympic athlete refusing to shake the hand of his or her adversary. And I've got to tell you, because it happened to me a lot in the practice of law, when an attorney refuses to shake my hand after an examination, I know that I won. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. It happened to me multiple times. If I were sensitive, it might have actually upset me. It's part of the rules of engagement. No matter how much you hate opposing counsel, you shake their hand after a confrontation. To refuse to do so is a sign of weakness and immaturity. So however much it pains your heart of hearts, put your hand out, shake their hand, smile, say thank you, and go on with your day. And it's the same advice I give to my clients after the deposition. Shake opposing counsel's hand. If you don't do it, you are going to confirm that opposing counsel got to you and that they won that exchange. And I've got to tell you, if Elizabeth Warren is angry with Bernie Sanders for implying that she's a liar on national television because he never actually called her a liar, if she happens to become the Democratic nominee, I can only imagine the mild rage that she's going to feel towards Donald Trump after their first debate. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown, analysis, insights into this exchange because it is a thing of beauty. And it is a thing of beauty from which we can all learn. And if you like my videos, please be sure to like, share, subscribe. There's a little subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know when I post a video. Drop a comment in the comment section below because that helps the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, there are support links in the pinned comment. You can get some merch. Oh yeah, there's nothing down here. This is just a vlog. And now you know your vlog. Peace out. Booyah!